Deep within the Catskill Mountains, 150 miles from New York City, is a unique concept in children's summer camps. Camp Shane may resemble the traditional American camp style with its recreational and sports facilities, but it also administers a relentless regime of rigorous exercise and strictly controlled diet for the 350 children who will spend their summer here.
Good morning, Camp Shane. It's a heck of a beautiful day out there, so let's get everybody up, and go to your first activity.
1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 3. 1, 2, count it. 1, 2, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 6.
In America, when school is out, it's very common for American families to send their kid to camp.
David Ettenberg runs this highly profitable, family-owned business.
We are a camp for overweight kids. Kids come here to have a good time. We play a lot of sports, we do crafts, we have fun. But one of their big objectives is to lose weight and to get in shape. Depending on what statistic you read, somewhere between 30 and 40% of American kids are overweight or out of shape.
The camp is up at 7 a.m. and discipline is strict. The campers are sealed off from the outside world by a 12-foot-high perimeter fence. There is no television, and even telephone calls home are restricted. For many of these children, this will be the first time that they've been away from home.
It's going to be hard. You're going to be on a diet. You're going to be eating a lot less food than you used to, and I know it's going to be difficult. Also, we're going to ask you to do activities. We're going to pretty much push you a lot. Instead of sitting, we're going to ask you to play. But a lot of it's up to you. So a lot of the success that you're going to have this summer is really going to be how much effort that you put into it. The more you put into it...
Attention campers, anyone who has not been weighed in, please go immediately to the weighing-in room.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Gail.
I'm Danny.
Danny. Danny, last name?
Proda.
Proda.
Yeah.
P-R-O-D-A.
P-R-O-T-A.
On their first morning, the newly arrived children are weighed and measured.
160 and a half. What brought you to Camp Shane?
So I just wanted to lose weight. I was like really tired of being like this. So.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, well, this is the place to do it.
Yeah.
The younger the kid is, the harder it is to keep the weight off.
Christina is one of the camp's 4 nutritionists.
To me, I think it's the parent's fault, okay? What kind of parent will let their kid get so overweight when they know how unhealthy it is? I mean, it just shows that they don't care as much. And also, to put their kid through, they know they're going to be humiliated when they go to school because kids make fun of fat kids all the time.
How do you like it so far?
Stinks.
It stinks.
It's nothing like the movie thing that shows.
No?
I like the video?
Yeah, they said the pool's clean. It's dirty as you know. Kids do go-karts. The guy got hurt. Gun thing, the guy quit. So and so and so.
39 3/4 inches.
There's only 2 things good now.
What's that?
39 3/4?
Computers and fishing.
As I went around to the various...
Peggy is the camp's resident psychologist, ironically here to lose weight herself.
That when the campers arrive here, they really feel good about knowing that they're among other campers who are overweight. Here, they're not just an overweight person who is going to be separate and stand out from the others. They seem to enjoy being able to socialize with someone who sees who they are and not just how they look.
I think that the fat camps are helped people. I think when all us heavy fat people get together, we can look at each other and we could say, hey, you know, so we're all fat. Now let's look at something else. Let's look inside.
Hold it. Just like...
Smile.
Yeah.
Now face the window. Both feet. Now head to the camera, darling. Relax. Big fat smile.
Hold it.
Now face the window.
The camp's programs run for between 3 and 9 weeks. The children range from 7 to 19 years old and come from a variety of different backgrounds from across America. The one thing they have in common is that they all need to lose weight.
I always wanted to be an astronaut when I grew up, and my parents keep saying there's this certain weight limit, like 180 pounds.
Stand straight.
And I'm like 217 now, and I'm only 11.
Scott realizes that he has a weight problem, But he's angry that his parents have sent him here to lose weight rather than giving him the support he needs at home.
My father gets up at 6 o'clock in the morning, has a cup of coffee for breakfast, goes to work, has a coffee break at about 9 o'clock, has a cup of coffee for lunch at 1 o'clock, then he comes home and he has a humongous dinner. So my mother makes like enough for 9 people, and it's only me, my father, my mother, and my brother who only eats enough for like half a person.
Okay, stand straight. That's it.
Josiah is a young actor who wants to be a star. And like Scott, he knows he must lose weight. But his biggest problem is lack of self-esteem in a society where only thin is acceptable.
My parents wanted me to come because they thought I just couldn't take it, and I couldn't. I mean, I kind of put up a front that I could, but I knew I couldn't. Well, a not so important reason my agent wanted me to come because there are more roles for skinnier kids than there are for me. Then I wanted to come for me.
Hold it. Yes.
Marissa, like many teenagers, has fallen victim to media images of the perfect body. She doesn't really need to be here, but she's obsessed with getting thinner and begged her parents to send her.
I don't want to be like looked at as like not fat. I want to be looked at as thin. I made the cheerleading team this year, and we have to wear one of these really short skirts, and I'm not going to walk around the school with one of those short skirts and be, you know, criticized or anything, you know, because they do that to people that are heavier.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
For at least 6 hours a day, every day, the children are pushed and cajoled into doing exercise and sport.
Right, 2, left, 2.
1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3.
6, 5, 4, 3,
5, 6. Thrust! 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 Double thrust! Double, triple thrust! Let's go! Everybody up, run, hop! Let's go, run!
By the second day, the intense physical pressure is beginning to tell. Scott is tired, hungry, and unhappy.
How are you feeling now? Homesick?
Yeah.
So, your coming here was not your idea necessarily?
Not at all.
Really? Whose idea was it?
Well, mainly my parents, because I've been telling them for 10 months I don't want to come here.
Well, what was the reason why your mother chose this camp in the first place?
I don't know. She just got this stuff in the mail. I looked at it. I said I don't want to go. She sent this thing in. I've been yelling and screaming at her for 10 months. I don't want to go, and she sends me anyway.
Wow! 13.
I told her if she wants me to lose the weight, don't send me somewhere for $500 a week. Buy something like Slim Fast. It's a lot cheaper. And I didn't even agree to it. So if my mother finally does get me out of here, I don't care if she gets her money back or not.
Wind it up! Keep chopping quicker. Get him up! Get him up! Let's go!
Josiah, too, is becoming miserable and discontented.
Everything is so hard when you have a handicap, and that's what it is. It is a handicap. You run slower and you play less, and you don't do as well. It's hard to compete.
I said up! Hold it there! Down! Up! Spread them! Together! Down!
Okay, everybody, it's that time of day again. It is the lunchtime, yummy time. Everybody to the dining hall now.
We serve basically all kinds of food. We don't particularly serve what you might think of as diet food. We have to be realistic. These kids are not going to stay on a diet if we serve them things that they hate and will never eat at home.
We don't say you can't have candy bars, you can't have spaghetti, because we do serve spaghetti in the diet here, and it's to show them that they can have spaghetti, they just can't have a large amount, or eat it all the time. They can't have seconds and thirds. Okay, they should be able to eat whatever they want as long as they do it in moderation.
But eating in moderation is difficult for these children, and the diet takes no account of age, sex, or size. Food portions are systematically controlled and limited to around 1,700 calories a day, which is around half the recommended healthy daily intake for a normal child.
These portions are too small.
Hi, Mom. I'd like to know if I could come home. Just not having a good time. I've had some food, but I'm really homesick, and I don't like it. Did you get my letter I sent? You should get a few more. I wrote 6.
The camp is reluctant to let children leave early, as this undermines the group morale.
He almost had his mind made up before he got here that he wasn't going to have a good time. He spoke to his father tonight, and he told us later that he lied. He said there was nothing to do at camp, and the food was terrible, and the kids didn't like him, and his father was very quick to come and pick him up. His father really felt that if his kid wanted to go home, he didn't want to hear any explanation other than the fact that he wanted to come, and he came and he took him. He never really participated. He stood aside from all the other kids, and he created his own failure, and I'm sorry to see him go home, because I think he would have done very well here.
Be careful to split the teams up in their strengths and weaknesses. You have to watch out for certain kids.
Each morning, Barry, wearing one of his many hats, this time as head counselor, discusses the day's events with the other counselors.
Every so often to the sports, because he needs a little help. He's not necessarily as good in sports as other kids. Also be aware of other kids like Josiah Traeger. He's a great help to sing.
These meetings also provide an opportunity to pinpoint children in need of special attention.
As well as sports people.
See that the kid is praised. Even if you walk up and say, hey, you did a good job. That's our goal.
Perhaps the camp's greatest strength is that it's created an environment where the children feel normal, safe from ridicule, and can start to feel good about themselves.
They might want to have a little extra TLC. While the good ball players are out there playing, these guys kind of might feel left out. Make sure you take care of them as well.
Kids can be extremely cruel to one another. The guys get called names, fatso, for example, and the girls can't wear the latest fashion, so they're excluded from the best groups. And I think it really affects the way that they feel about themselves. They have very poor self-images. What happens in camp here is that kids will participate in things that they never will do at home. You know, a girl might put on a leotard and go to a dance class. Or the guys, you know, at home, maybe they're afraid to go swimming because, you know, they have big chests or something. And here, boom, they're in the pool. A kid could be king here who is ridiculed at home.
Forms, do it for the CITs.
The pain of ridicule often forces the children, however young, to build up their own defenses. Getting the children to shed their inhibitions isn't always easy.
Usually everybody called me names. My mom's boyfriend always says, beach whale, but I don't think that's bad.
Oh, I see. He called you a beach whale? Well, you know, even though he was kidding, that did hurt your feelings a bit, didn't it?
A little bit.
Yeah, because a whale is a real big thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's very nice, too.
Yeah, that's true.
It's one of the biggest animals in the sea. It's one of the biggest animals anywhere, actually.
Yeah, that's true.
Bigger than dinosaurs.
So you like being identified with a whale a little bit, is that right?
Yeah.
But often, emotions that have been suppressed for years come to the surface. Here, in the temporary refuge of the camp, the true depth of Josiah's insecurity becomes apparent.
When you walk down the street, there are people who you don't know. And they just come up to you. Or they just pass by you and they look at you like you're something from another planet. Or they call you a name, and, it just hurts. By no fault of my own, it just hits. It just hits so hard. And, after a while, after 14 years, you can't take it anymore. I really couldn't care whether or not I was fat or skinny, just so long as I was normal. Because when you're normal, there's nothing wrong with you. But when you're not, you just, it's like you exist only for the normal people, just so that they have something to laugh at, or something to say, God, I'm sure lucky that I'm not that person. But you have to stop and think, when you are that person, it's not that easy at all.
Attention, camp. As you can see, it is still tinkling out, so grab your life preservers and rain gear and walk between the drops to your next activity.
Hey, fatso, you big fat rhino elephant. Ramo, the force of freedom. Eating all that pizza and hot dogs.
All right, role-playing classes try to give children practical help in dealing with the ridicule they face outside the camp, as well as the pressures to overeat.
Punch him? You think you should punch him?
Then he would have bugged you.
What about... You'd feel like it, but just because you felt like it doesn't mean you should do it, does it?
No.
Okay. All right. And right now, it's a very protective environment. You don't have any choices to make, really, do you?
No.
But when you go home, you will have some choices. So that's what this exercise is going to do. It's going to give you an opportunity to say no when you're supposed to say no, and say yes when you're supposed to. Okay, so Josiah, you want to do this?
Okay.
All right. And you are Jacob. Okay, Jacob. Okay, Jacob, why don't you hop up with Josiah?
Would you like to have my hot dog? I didn't touch it.
Oh, no, it's okay. I had one of those burgers. The burgers were really good, but, no,
Those big burgers?
Yeah, they were great. I had, well, anyway. No, I'm fine. Thanks anyway. But, you know, that's all right. Don't worry about it.
How about this? What if he keeps it up and you just kind of excuse yourself? He's getting to be a little bit much. Don't you think he's getting a little pesty here?
All right, kid. No, no. I think I better go. You know, it's getting kind of late and everything.
It's only 6:30.
I know, but I got some homework to do and everything. So maybe.
There's no school. It's summertime. Remember?
I know, but yeah. Well, I gotta go.
Excuse me. Leave it. Right.
Goodbye.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta walk away from him.
Are you sure?
Okay, girls, today we're going to talk a little bit about diets and a little bit about behavior modification. Okay, the reason why you have such a wide variety of foods is because you
The camp's nutritionists believe that ultimately the children are here because their parents cannot initiate or maintain control over their children's eating habits.
And your pasta for your carbohydrates. We try to give you a wide variety so you get a
Nutrition classes try to teach the children dietary values and controls.
I'd like to know how many of you have been on a diet before. Okay, we got 6 out of 8 of you. How old are you, Jasmine?
8.
8, and what kind of diet were you on?
Weight Watchers.
Weight Watchers, did it work for you?
Yes.
Okay.
In the first 5 days, I lost like 7 pounds, but I haven't been weighed since then. And, I'm still, well, I still feel like I'm a little bit homesick, but I'm not crying my eyes out anymore like I was the first week.
Don't tell me.
Okay, right now I weigh 142. I have 12 more pounds to go, okay?
but I know I'm not going to do that. I'm the one who's going to be upset when I leave here and I don't have those 12 pounds off. I knew I wasn't going to drop 20 pounds. I don't have that much to lose. These last 12 pounds are going to be the hardest.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
We got sunlight on the sand, we got moonlight on the sea.
Josiah's growth in confidence speaks for itself as he auditions for the leading role in the end of camp show.
What ain't we got? We ain't got things. We got practice in the hole, we got movies, we got shows, we got lettuce, so let's get the dirt and light the road.
In the final week, the camp's gates are thrown open and the children are taken out for a day to face the fast food temptations of the real world.
Okay, I'm going to give you, don't give them one.
If they're buying diet soda, it's perfectly fine. There's no problem with that. If they brought their own money and they're buying diet, that's fine. They are not to eat anything from the area that you're at that's not diet food.
This dollar is for diet soda. Only diet soda. I don't want you to buy anything else with the dollar. Be careful not to lose it. Okay?
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
At nearby Action Park, alongside the attractions of the water slides and swimming pools, are numerous burger bars, the ideal testing ground.
Remember, only Diet Cokes.
All right. Small Diet Coke.
Only 3 out of 200 children were actually caught cheating. The rest apparently passing with flying colours.
It's hard to be on a diet. You know, you need always to exercise the willpower. There's no magic answer. I mean, kids come here and they lose a lot of weight, but still when they go home, they're going to have to learn to deal with it on their own. Hopefully we prepared them in a lot of ways, through the nutrition classes and through discussion groups, through role-playing, even going out on trips that we do from camp where there's food available, that they have to understand that they're the ones who need to be in control.
The end of camp barbecue, where the children enjoy their new friendships, developed with their growing feelings of self-worth. But a quick mark on the arm guards against any last-minute temptation to sneak around for seconds.
After spending the summer here, what happens is that they've had such a positive experience with everyone being nice and making friends and having a girlfriend or a boyfriend for the first time, and just knowing that that they're regular people really boosts their self-image.
Okay, Cam, it's the moment of truth. This is the final time for you to get weighed in and measured. The best of luck to all of you. I know you have done super jobs, everybody. Good luck to all of you.
Roberta, what was the weight?
145.
145. That's what you were when you came in, 145 pounds?
On the final day, the children are weighed and measured.
Down to 135.
How much for? Oh my God! Oh, 9 pounds again.
They're anxious that their hopes of substantial weight loss match the reality of the scales.
So that's about 10 pounds you've lost. What do you think about that?
And that it's worth the £2,300 that parents will have spent for a 9-week program.
I feel pretty good because I lost 18 pounds in the last 3 weeks, but I don't really think it was worth it because I was figuring it out, and my parents spent over $88 for each pound I lost. I can't figure out how many cents because I can't figure out how to turn ninths into tenths.
I still have about 9.5 pounds to lose, so I'm like a little upset about that, but I mean, altogether, 9.5 pounds for me to be perfect is not a lot at all, and I'm happy about that.
Well, I've been here 7 weeks, and I've lost about 34 pounds, which is sufficient for me. I mean, when I arrived, I figured I'd lose maybe 40 or 45 pounds, but it's been a lot of fun, and it is a nice weight loss. And now I'm off to Hollywood.
101.
success shouldn't be measured in the pounds he's lost, but in the applause and appreciation of his audience. Camp Shane has filled a niche in the fitness market by providing a place, though at a price, where children can feel normal, have a good time and lose weight. But the reality is that what the camp provides is too little, too late, in a society that spends $65 million a year on junk food and yet still demands that people be thin. Six months after leaving Fat Camp, Scott has lost 4 more pounds. Josiah has lost 8 pounds and is starring in a new television series. Marissa, however, has gained 6 pounds. 50% of last year's children have already been booked back into Fat Camp for this summer.
Attention campers, this is the final announcement. I have great news. Between you and especially me, we have lost 3¼ tons this summer. All the best to you this winter. We hope to see you again next summer.
Lucy McDolan.
Deep within the Catskill Mountains, 150 miles from New York City, is a unique concept in children's summer camps. Camp Shane may resemble the traditional American camp style with its recreational and sports facilities, but it also administers a relentless regime of rigorous exercise and strictly controlled diet for the 350 children who will spend their summer here.
Good morning, kids.
There is no television, and even telephone calls home are restricted. For many of these children, this will be the first time that they've been away from home.
It's going to be hard. You're going to be on a diet. You're going to be eating a lot less food than you used to, and I know it's going to be difficult. Also, we're going to ask you to do activities. We're going to pretty much push you a lot. Instead of sitting, we're going to ask you to play. But a lot of it's up to you. So a lot of the success that you're going to have this summer is really going to be how much effort that you put into it. The more you
Attention campers, anyone who has not been weighed in, please go immediately to the weighing-in room.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Gail.
I'm Danny.
Danny. Danny, last name?
Proda.
Proda.
Yeah.
P-R-O-D-A.
P-R-O-T-A.
On their first morning, the newly arrived children are weighed and measured.
160.5. What brought you to Camp Shane?
So I just wanted to lose weight. I was like really tired of being like this. So.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Shane! It's a heck of a beautiful day out there, so let's get everybody up, 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 and go to your first activity.
1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, count it! 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 6, 1, 2, 3, 8.
In America, when school is out, it's very common for American families to send their kid to camp.
David Ettenberg runs this highly profitable, family-owned business.
We are a camp for overweight kids. Kids come here to have a good time. We play a lot of sports, we do crafts, we have fun. But one of their big objectives is to lose weight and to get in shape. Depending on what statistic you read, somewhere between 30 and 40% of American kids are overweight or out of shape.
The camp is up at 7 a.m. and discipline is strict. The campers are sealed off from the outside world by a 12-foot-high perimeter fence.